Yeah, that whole Serpico thing is crazy.
It is. Best
I
part
haven't
is,
seen that movie in a long time.
yeah. Well, the best part is you can find probably about 20 years ago now. Every now and again, he pop up in the news, and there was one where he kind of was just kind of touching base with that story. And we
Because
said,
then that movie's based on his actual on his actual experience because he wrote a book about it.
yeah. And so it's like, you know, in terms of dramatization, it's like what the guy have. I think in the movie, it was a semi-auto shiny gun in his face. He's like, no, it was a dirty revolver. It was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that kind of a thing. What was really cool though is I think it was probably about 10 to 15 years ago, maybe. He had a few news articles came out where he was kind of talking about things. And he's like, well, if you go back and look, the officers who left me there, they later got commendations for their service. What are you saying there?
Yeah.
You left a rat to die. Give him an award.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want the fucking out. I'm using bad language. I gotta watch that.
Yeah, because I mean, he told the his own captain what was going on, and his captain
Left him to die.
Yeah, I mean, his captain instead, decided to assign him to the worst beat possible,
Yeah, let's put you right in danger.
and then like told all the other officers like,
Yeah.
"Hey, this guy's ratting."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they said that even the police officer who was going with the ambulance to take him to the hospital when he'd been shot in the face.
Was making sure that he died. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't going to do anything, but he wanted to make sure.
Yeah. It's like ooh. It's like it's on record saying, I don't care if he dies. It's like that kind of thing. It's like, ooh, yeah, that's evil. That's real malevolence. When you encounter it, it's like your life will never be the same.
See you next Monday.
Yeah. See you next Monday. All right, here we go. This is no longer policing. This is actually methods. So methods. And it is 7 minutes out.
Thank you.
So if you're just starting this and you're watching it after the fact, roll forward about 7 minutes, and that's about when we'll begin class. In the meantime, I probably am about out of coffee. So I'm going to go get water here in a second. Because I was lazy. I did not carry 2 drinks like I normally. Okay, ready for some fun. Oh, got a lot to talk about. I want to get you guys a task. You guys can work in a group. You guys see my email?
Mhm.
Excellent. So you guys can work with that group. You can work individually, entirely your choice. But the thing that I want you to do is play with some data and go out and find out what's out there. I'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll kind of set you guys off at task. And I'd probably let you guys out of here early. Notice I haven't been using PowerPoints yet. You should still be reading. Make sure you guys are reading, that kind of thing. I'll talk a little bit about that. And what we'll do is once we go through that part of our class time, what we'll end up doing is I'll show you how to move stuff, the different programs. Once you learn how to move it and reshape it, because that's literally what you're doing, it becomes something sort of like what I was talking about, shapes. You literally make shapes of that. So we'll split class time between showing you how that stuff works and like the textbook lessons. I'm not exactly sure if I want to follow the textbook or if I want you guys to work with projects and look at the issues as you come into it. Because that's exactly what the textbook does. Because it starts outlining issues and things like that as a textbook rather than here you are in the thick of it. This is what multicollinearity is. It's you've got a correlation that's so high you're measuring the same thing. And I'll show you exactly what that means and that's use is how you can use it, how you can start addressing it different ways to fix that kind of stuff. And so you'll get the actual skill set, not just here's the abstract book knowledge. Here's what it actually means. Thanks. I'm gonna finish that coffee with a bit water first. I got some sleep last night. Can you tell? I've been getting some stupid things. Yeah, 6 hours last night. That's like what I usually get in like 4 hours every day. That's like 3 days worth of sleep. Yeah.
I guess you can work in those groups or in. Okay. I don't understand why would it be. You can still work individually or something. Most of my. I don't know. That wasn't by some people. Everybody's sleeping, so my name's Lexi. Okay, you're in my group. Okay, what's your name? Sarah. Sarah, okay, cool. Nice to meet you. And then Jamie. It's like, something is awesome.
Sleeping, I saw you shake your head. That crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things that it really is kind of crazy when you think about it. You know, I don't look like I'm tired or anything like that. That's conditioning. One of my jobs I had whenever I got into that position, probably about 7 or 8 years older than what you guys are. I worked for a chancellor. He was in his 70s. He put me to shame daily. That's when I started pushing myself a lot harder and like, okay, where are those limits at? I hit them. They're not where his were though, so that means they can move. That guy was 70. Like, what is that? You're up at 3 in the morning still answering emails, and then you'll be here at like 10 minutes before 8. I mean, I get here at 7. Make sure everything's up and ready for you, but yeah, what the hell is that? You'll be here. I'm leaving at 5. At 5 o'clock, my ass is already at that door. At 5 o'clock, he's still sitting in that chair back working. What is that? Here. That's the difference, right? You find that motivation, you care, nothing will stop you. You just, how much time can you put towards it? That's all it is. And if you don't have time, how much thought? That's methods. Now, when you learn that structure, that thought process moves so much faster for you. It will. Moving the data will start doing that for you. Got 2 more minutes, and then we'll start talking about it. So we'll give you your charge. So I think I'll talk about that in the meantime, and I'll talk about a little, you know, if anybody else rolls in. Originally, what I was doing, and I ran out of time to do it, is what happened. I was looking at your interests, that kind of thing. I'm weighing those, and I am. And I'm kind of putting that in the back of my mind and let's see what takes form there. At the same time, I need to get you guys on the task, and since I don't have time to sit down and really play with those ideas across a whole bunch of things, I haven't quite gotten that part ready. That part's gonna go. I've got the overall framework, but I've got to fit in all of the micro level stuff. That's going to take me some more time than I expected. So that should only take a week, but I don't get time like what most people do. For you all, I get something that will move you. It'll be something that's kind of important. Okay. It'll be a topic that is kind of interesting and will do good. And it doesn't really matter what you do because you're all moving in a positive direction with it because it doesn't look like anybody's moving on it. And it's just right there in front of you. Those are things that I like. So it's right in your face that no one sees. Yeah, stuff that's in your face that no one sees. I'll get that. Okay, it's now officially 11 o'clock, so I'll get rolling. Okay, so it is officially methods class, and you are officially late. You too. You're worse because you're already coming in after I pointed out that he's late. That's horrible. It's like negative +1. You're right back at 0, I guess. If I did my math right. I'm horrible at math. It's a funny thing. I do number stuff. I'm actually horrible at math. I had someone I was trying to schedule a meeting with because they're in a different time zone. They told me where they were. I did the math in the wrong decision, the direction. I came into it 2 hours early. Oh, you're not here. What's going on here? Where are you at? 2 hours later, where are you at? Oh, put my head up my backside. I can't do math. Sorry, I thought you were on the East Coast, not over in Mountain Time. Can't do math. Is it positive or negative? No idea anymore. They look the same to me. Maybe by the time we're done, you'll have a little bit more easier time distinguishing the difference. It'll help you too, because you'll run into times where you need to make that distinction. So things that are going on that are coming up soon. Tomorrow, Operation Underground Railroad is a student group. They've started meeting. We're trying to get to where they meet regularly, trying to grow student interests there. Because as that group forms up, what that will do is that's another arm, it's another tentacle that has to do stuff, make changes. Operation Underground Railroad relates to human trafficking, that kind of stuff. you're gonna help them. Not them directly. You're gonna help another thing that actually helps that. The issue that they're kind of going after a little bit, but not as directly as what I'd like to see people do. People like to talk about stuff and feel good. I don't like to do that. I like to do things. Then I might feel good. Maybe. Probably not though. We'll learn more about that. That's tomorrow. I think it's at noon, and wherever they have that US Energy thing, where there's free food around, they'll be nearby. I can't remember where that's at. I think that's over in UC. I can't remember. I'll have to confirm that up and send that out to you all. But if you don't make it there, there's food around and discussions. I'll just keep pointing out the shitty garage bands thing. That's an important social element of society. The reason why I do that, the reason why I brought in the music, it's one way to look at numbers. But instead of numbers, you're looking at shapes and the feel, how it feels. You know, how you start bringing in the feels, because that matters. Also, that social element, those connections. You guys know each other? I've never read that class. Some of you know each other to varying degrees. I should expect that. I hope that's the case. Good. It's like, so yes, is that great? Okay, that was kind of a baseline expected, but kind of questionable. Good. Hanging out when you guys do that kind of stuff, you guys have your groups and all that kind of thing. Make sure that they are both strong and close, and that you have weak ones that span much, much farther to other groups. It's those social connections that bind society. Bands are one way to do it. Why? You have to have a group to come together, figure out how to play the damn things, play something that sounds good. And if they do it right and they want that attention, they gather other people around them. Guess what? You know how a little bit less concerned, you feel a little bit better about the world as it is. Because right now, I'm probably sure most of you aren't so comfortable with how the world is. I mean, that was the first class today, right? I asked the question, I was like, ooh, did you see that? Yeah, that means I just measured something different. I did measure that. That's not good. That social element. On the other side of things, to show you how much it's under attack from foreign enemies. You just don't see it. That's that generational warfare stuff I was telling you guys about early in the semester. Opioids, right? I said fentanyl. Where's it coming from? What does it do? Kills people. Is that all it does? No. Destroys the people themselves, their social relationships too. Yes, but also there's something else you don't even think about. When you see someone who's passed out in the driver's seat of a car in a parking lot, do you approach and render aid? You try to inquire and find out, or you call someone, they're going to die in the meantime if they're overdosing. If you go and find it, guess what? Odds are you're going to die too. Ha! Now you see what the real thing is. It's not just all that other stuff. It's that now you can't hang out with each other. That's war. You're in it right now and you don't see it. It's right there. Right? There's more stuff like that I'll show you as we go. This one, right here, the 925 thing. That's going to be program assessment stuff. So we're going to have a guy who's from another university in our discipline who's wanting to meet with you all, talk about you all the stuff you're learning, what kinds of things you're learning, how you're learning. Are you learning how? That kind of thing is a big one too, because you learn how to learn. That's what with this class. So I don't know if it'll be a physical thing, like they'll have a room, or if it'll be a Zoom thing, or if it'll be both. Like, hey, it's a Zoom thing in this room. I imagine it'd be, but no, he's not too far away. He might actually come here. I don't know. Don't know the person too well. So cool. Get to learn a whole bunch of stuff. Learn how other people are making the cake somewhere else, and then see if they like what we're cooking here. Right? Because that's the general idea is we want to do good things, and it should be objectively good from anyone. That's the idea. That's really hard to do, though, isn't it? Is it good or is it bad? I don't know. We'll get into that though. So we're dealing with that, the good and the bad, that kind of thing. Let's talk about directions. Bing. Boop. So probably all of you know that I put some stuff out online. At least I sent you an email, right? You guys get emails? Saw those? Okay, good. So what that is that's a group that you can work together with. It's going to have a specific state in it, right? There are 6 states in this region. I'm working 2 things at once, aren't I? I don't work a lot more than that. Really cool. You start lining up more than one thing for any one effort. Watch as everything grows. That's how you should do it. That's that thoughtfulness in time. I don't have the groups. Feel free to work in the groups. treat them like friends, right? What you submit is yours. I just want to see that you're doing something. I don't actually care that you get it done entirely, because I can do it myself pretty quickly. What I want to see is you start learning how. Because what's going to happen is in talking to people and how they're doing, you're going to see different skill sets. What's going to happen pretty quickly is I'm going to let you out of here. I'm going to teach this one. Who's done? Whoever's in that group, I want to meet with this one. Whoever's not in that group, I want to meet with that group. We're going to start fixing that social thing. Hey, look at that, I'm doing something else. Okay, so that's going to fix that a little bit. As we're working on that, the charge that you had, did you guys see what it is? Ooh, let's talk about that then. Assignments. I like video games. You guys don't play video games? I do. Okay, good. It's time for a fetch quest. All right, you're going to go on a big adventure. But it's now first step's the fetch quest. Right? Kind of interesting thing about video games and life in general. Survival. Survival is based. This thing is war. At every point in time, it's war. It's just what are you doing with it? Survival is war, war against nature. Nature's trying to kill you all the time. But if you're stuck out in a situation where it's just you and you're 100 miles from anyone in the woods, will you survive, and for how long? It's a scary thought. Guess what? Some people can and do, and it doesn't matter what you do, where you put them at, they'll be just fine. You can come back 6 months later, 6 years, they'll be just fine, right? Some people who walk out in the woods, I wish I remember that name. I remember a school bus involved. Went out to, was it Canada or Alaska? I think it was Alaska. Died, starved to death because he didn't know what the hell he was doing. Did something pop up? I can't see that all the time. Am I sharing this? No, I'm not. Let's share that. So you can see it online if you can. I'm going to pop it up right here. Boop, there you go. So the first thing you do if you're in a survival situation is you assess what you have on you. What kind of tools do you have? Right? This is actually a really good one because now I can put stuff down I don't have to remember. Oh. From there, you branch out and you expand out to see what's immediately around you. Then you look even farther. Ooh, there's a survival guy. He's like, yeah, TV show on Discovery Channel, Survivor Man. You guys ever heard of that guy? Les Stroud? You should watch the shows. He's really good at what he does. Same thing that we're doing here. He's just doing it to survive. I'm going to start looking at what I have and see how it comes together. See what I can use, how I'm going to use it. And I'm going to do it with a purpose to survive. Really important. You see the three faces there. There's that tree thing again. What is he doing? He's trying to take account for what's there. He's Sherlock Holmesing it is what it is. That's deductive logic and reasoning. Some degree we use theory to show what's already been established kind of thing. To some degree we use deductive reasoning, logic and reasoning. Start doing math to it and start confirming whether or not we think is the case is in fact the case. So if we think something is and we think something isn't, we have somewhere to start working, right? Did I talk in here? I think I talked in here about whether or not you exist. Ooh, we didn't talk about philosophy in here, did we? Okay, that's Descartes. He does very, very good at explaining what logic is if you just listen to his arguments. Basically, that's the cogito ergo sum thing. I think, therefore I am. What it is, do I actually exist right here, right now? Do I exist? Yes or no? Well, maybe. There's some question there, right? You really get into it. Ultimately, though, what you can confirm that actually exists, that's independent of all of that, is the fact that you are thinking and that you have the doubt of your existence. That doubt, you know for a fact is real because you hold it in you. Therefore, you exist. So you're thinking you exist. By coming to a conclusion, a definitive statement about something, you can leverage that off into information about other things. That's what I've been trying to explain. That's what we do all the time. I'm dealing with socioeconomic status, and I'm dealing with that, and I'm dealing with racism. Hard to tell because they so heavily overlap. We have to do math to separate, right? We break it apart. But this is how you break things apart. If you do it the other direction, you can build it back together. You know how to do that too. This guy's important. In this case, what we're dealing with is How do you find something that's not there? Ooh, people do it in law all the time. In courts. I mean, it's there, but is it real? That's the question. What's going on in your mind? Taking law or you taking that class? The intent element never exists. Physically, it exists though. You have to figure that shit out. There's ways to do that. So that's gonna be missing information you have to pull out. That's what that is. Because someone's not gonna, they're usually not gonna confess. So we know how to do it to some degree, right? It's a process involved. This one, we're gonna do it a little bit differently. So it says here, we're gonna turn the missing into found. Right? That's our ultimate goal. So that's the goal of this class now, the goal of your lives now, because you won't be successful. This is one that's gonna span longer than you. Start it that way. So that way you know it doesn't have to be successful. You just need to see movement. In this case, we're gonna go to something that you already know. I'm tired of things being missing. I'm tired of not seeing everything. I'm tired of things being hidden inside. To some degree, you know this one already. How many have been to Walmart? When you leave Walmart, is there a big wall with posters on it? What do you do about that? A goddamn thing. How many people are like that? It's one of the few times I'm actually feel okay using that phrase. I actually have a big problem with cursing. Not the fact that I do it, it bothers me, but I still do it anyway. That one in particular, I don't like using. I'll use it now because that was a pretty serious issue. No one's looking at it. Why? Hard to look at. One of those truths people don't like, right? It's like finding out you're the person who's wrong in an argument. Some people rather not do that. I'm not going to be wrong. I'm going to fight as hard as I can to show that I'm right. I'm talking politics again, aren't I? I love this season because the contradictions there become so evident that people can't ignore it to some degree. We have an opportunity to actually talk to people while they're awake. A little bit. For a little bit. This one, right next to everybody, all the time. No one looks at it. Too hard to look at. Too emotional, maybe. If I go into this website right here and click the button, what do I see here? The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. If I said to you, border crossings are an issue, how many of you would agree with that? I didn't see. Okay, I saw some yeses, some hands. Yes. That's a political thing that people tend to kind of get nervous about and don't want to talk about. Sort of like that thing I mentioned earlier where everyone got real quiet. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Those are the things that's the only problem in society. That missing thing. You can't talk. Why is that? Ooh, all kinds of reasons. In this instance, I want to see that. I want to see our work. So what kind of data they have here? Download. Not much there in terms of actual data. It's information. That's not what I mean. All right. So where will I find? I was looking at this late last. There we go. Search for missing children. Have you seen me? I don't care. I want to see what's actually here. Click the most recent one. Right. So you can see the faces and that kind of thing has a human effect. That's probably the part people don't like. The information there, there's a lot of information there. I've got information about when, where, age, sex, race, that kind of thing. Okay. Been assigned a state. I need you to go through, not this one. Go back to that other one. Search missing posters. Let's go with Oklahoma. Submit. There you go. There's one missing here. Things that are missing in society. Interesting thing. This one is a hard one to look at. There's a few things I want to talk about related to this. First, we'll start with, where is that class at? It took me off of that one. I need to bring that back up because you need to see the directions. 1 second. Got that up. So if I said border stuff, if I said unaccompanied minor, what is that? Okay, you don't know what that is. You should know that one. You should look that one up. If I said, how many have gone missing over what time frame? $300,000 missing unaccompanied minors. Not now. You need to see the headline. You're not paying attention. How big is this problem? What is it you want to see and what is it you don't? Right? There's this number. There's this number. There's a whole bunch of other numbers in there, the real number. You get to any of those real numbers. These are people who want to be found. Somebody wants them to be found. Somebody wants them to be found. You got almost, well, over 250,000 people, children. No one can find them. We know that those are going to the sex trade industry. So how many new sex slaves do we have in this country? Right? How many of those right here that are being put in front of you? You don't look at. How many of those are too? How much do you want to bet between those numbers within what 100 miles? There's going to be a big number of those hidden right near you. Look close. How's 50 miles? How's 10 miles? Right? So you bet your ass that there are people who are stuck in that kind of situation within 10 miles of here. Everyone's so worried about racism, slavery, and all those kinds of shits. No one's getting up their ass to do anything about anything. How about you guys start? Do you want to do that? I'd love it if you want to do that. I'll show you how. Let's do that for this class. What we're going to start out with. You're going to click into each one of these. Right? You will already have this right here. This is how easy it is. Oh, right here. Here's a spreadsheet. Let's down that. See what it looks like. Name, state, missing since, missing from. They don't have that. Just have the date and current age kind of thing. So we can figure that out. Or the date they went missing if you got both of those. So make sure that those match. I think that they do, but make sure that they match those flyers. And if it's missing, leave it empty. Age now. Sex, race, hair color, eye color, height, weight, description. You're going to take each of those flyers that you see for your state, one record for each person. Step one. Now you're starting to look at them. You at least have their names. Now you're starting to see them. Okay. You have your group. You can work with them to work together. You can work across the entire class if you want. Not about points anymore. Plugs. Okay, I don't know how else to put that. Here. Next up, you're going to go to the census data. And I'm going to have you collect the 2020 county level data for age, sex, and race. We'll add in some stuff as we go, but we'll start there because in that other thing, sex and race. Okay. I want you to be able to combine those things together for assignment one when we get out of here. I want some of you to struggle with it because I want to see what you do because I want to see how you think. Because I'll see it. I do what you write too. It's nice. Also, I don't really push ideas because I don't want to influence them that way. I do push some ideas. They're good. This thing. As you're working on that, when we get to this final version, what you'll be able to do just from the start, we're going to start trying to classify these things. Start to see that some of these things are different than others. You'll start to see things that don't make sense. You start seeing stuff that doesn't make sense. That means you're finding something. But what is that? What is going on here? What is that? Could be something very, very simple. Could be something very, very not simple. Right? And to give you an idea, it's like I'm going to put a bad idea into your head to make it obvious. It's a bad idea, but it'll show you how hard it is to tell the difference between good and evil, maybe. Positive and negative is probably more like it. Error and purpose is also the same thing, whether it's an error or purpose. Okay. So in this state, there's only 40. It's not going to take that long. Show me all. Let's go back to search for missing children. This time I'm not going to put anything in. Give me everything. 4,000. Right? That's to hit all 50 states. We're only starting with 6. We will get all 50. We're going to get this whole data set at some point. And then we'll all go and have somebody do is go and contact them for the things that were found. That'll be a different site at a different point in time. You can see how it works first because you're not used to this kind of stuff, I guess. Only as of late did I realize that most people aren't used to this kind of stuff. Okay. You have those who want to be found. You have those who don't. And that's not going to be political. That's going to be across all politics. It's just you have to look at the numbers and size. The most recent years have been the worst on record. Right? That's objective fact. I hate politics, but I will make a factual statement. That's a bad number. That's worse than before. That's not good. So you got those who want to be found and who don't. Don't. So if no one's even looking at this, and no one's looking at the other thing at all, you start stacking these things together, and you start to find out. We'll start here. Those who are lost, those who aren't. Start comparing them as a group, the overall society across time. To some degree, it's initial 4. We're just starting to play. You'll start to see difference in patterns. Very, very unrefined, yes. That one's not so much. Wait a second. So I can start to make distinctions here related to these things here, there. As I start adding in this and all the others, what am I going to start seeing? Ways to tell the difference between those who were lost and want to be found, the runaways maybe. Those who were never lost in the first place. Those who people don't care to even look for. Those that there are no reports for at all. Those are the numbers you'll never get. Ones that there are reports for, that no one still cares about. The numbers coming in from other countries that are coming in here to be lost. Their countries are doing so well, they're losing kids over in our country. We're doing so horrible, apparently. Start making the identification, you start identifying the differences, making it clear what makes these things distinct. You start picking up patterns. As you dial closer and closer, here and here. Found you. The ones who are lost and were found. How were they found? Ooh, you can figure that out. What found them? What was it specific? Might have been a person who just gave them extra attention, maybe. If that's the case, we'll find him right away because we're going to give him attention. Huh? How about that? Sound like fun? You guys want to do that? I'm seeing a lot of silence. You guys want to do that? Yes? We're going to try to find someone who's been lost. All right. Let's go do that. Given the opportunity and the time frame. You guys want to present on that in the next month? Be up for that. Okay. Let's see what we can do. At any rate, you'll have at least 2 opportunities to present if you want to. One will be here in class before the semester is over because you need to work on those skills. Second one will be next semester, actually. undergraduate research day. If you're a graduate student, what we'll do is, probably within the next couple months, we look to put on some type of symposium or something like that. That way you guys can get back to, for the interest in presenting in a shorter time frame, we have SWAC-J, the regional one, whose states you're covering. I'm gonna start working on this too, so I'm working to test you guys if you're doing this. I'm gonna be doing the same thing. So I'm doing the same thing too. You guys are all doing it too. And so I get to compare them, see where the differences are. So I learned because I like to learn too. As I'm doing that, you guys are writing this thing out too. So you an opportunity to talk about what you did. Might even give you some words to tell you this thing's a bit more clearly in a shorter time frame. That's a long conversation. You need to be able to get across much faster, right? If we can get that going, guess what? You're not meeting with people all across those regions. Let's stay and go meet with those people. Why? Start finding people who are actually in those places. Hey, my care. What are you doing? Something undeniably good. Hey, guess what? I think that's something that can rally people if you want. That roll better. You can do that. Start to that. Okay. Start with downloading that Excel spreadsheet, filling it out. That's gonna be easy. Right. The next step is gonna be mixing it all up together so that way you can have the information related to the counties, the information related to people in the same spreadsheet. I'll show you the specific steps. They'll make it go faster for you. Try it on your own. See what you can do. Right. We'll revisit on Monday, so make sure you try it over the weekend because I want to start showing you this stuff quick because you need to learn it fast. Once you can start doing stuff the damn races, you can run budgets, you can do anything you want to. If it's data, it's just thoughts. It's just putting structure in. You want to do better in classes and study, right? All you're going to do is just put the same information in the book. You're just going to classify it a little bit, move it around. Guess what? Now it's yours. It's in your head. You'll never let it go. It's like ideas. You can't kill an idea. You can kill people. Doesn't matter if we'll go back to that big thing that happened, was a few weeks back. The guy for the red team got shot in the head, wouldn't matter one damn bit. Guy in the blue team, girl in the blue team, she got, wouldn't matter one damn bit. It's not them. You're looking at them for saviors or anything like that. If you think that thing's gonna fix the world, you're wrong. What I just said, start on something like that and move. Ready? Go. Have fun. See you Monday. Get ready to do some stuff. Good class? Good. Start having fun. Start playing with this stuff. Do read the textbooks as you're going. We'll start into the class stuff either Monday or Wednesday. In terms of textbooks, I'll start showing you those things that they're talking about. Here's what it means. Here's what it means when they say generalizability. Here's what it means when they say whatever the hell term that they use. I don't like terms because I have a hard time keeping them straight. Because I know way too many words. I've never know what anybody means. Open education. Big number. But do some cool shit though. See you in a minute. All right. With that, I'll say it to you guys online because you'll probably have a little bit harder trouble. I won't let you guys go just yet. Let's stop the share. Where's my stop share button? This thing does not want to move. There it goes. Make it large. You guys on scene are probably seeing me move the mouse around trying to get it. Or it's doing what I want it to. It's not wanting to. There we go. All right. So for you all online, well, I'll give you a little bit more. Because you might be a little bit nervous since you can't necessarily have the schedule to meet with people really easily. So what I want you to do is just play with it as best you can. Do whatever you can with it. Try to gather as much information into spreadsheets as you can. And then upload it into that file for, I think I have it set for Monday. Try to get it in if you can. Just try to play with it and we'll talk about it. What I'm going to teach you how to do is how to take Excel and move data at scale pretty quickly with a few shortcuts. And then I'll show you how to set it up to where you can run the analyses correctly. So you don't run into things like ecological fallacy. You'll see that in the textbook. It's something people do all the time. So I'll show you what it means first. And we'll have some fun. Because this is what it is to learn. Cool. Yeah, your groups. Okay, I'll say that because I see that in there too. That just came through. So I sent an email last night to everyone in the class. In it, if you look at 2 line, you'll see everyone who's been assigned the same state. You'll each submit your own spreadsheet, but you can work together if you want to. You don't have to do it alone, right? Where that would be wise for you all, if you're in a group and you don't have the ability to meet, we should say is, I'm going to take maybe if you got the posters, you know the numbers there and you have them sorted a certain way, let's say it's sorted by time, say, I'm going to take from this date to this date, and someone else will take from this date to this date, kind of thing. Chunk it up that way, or you break it up across tasks. Like these people are going to be on missing children. These people are going to be on the census data, navigating that website, because it looks a little bit different. It's a little funky. It's one that I'll want you to play around with it because it looks so funky. That's why the directions are. I forgot to actually talk about that part while the people here. I want them to get started on that first part. This is one, basically what it is it's a way to say, I want Arkansas or whatever, and I want a specific variable over here. Right, so be like, we'll say families and living, income and poverty. That's a good one. How about income and poverty? And I'll start giving you, here are some of the options for that. And so you'll end up getting a spreadsheet that works. There you go. It's going to give me anything. Why is it not giving me anything? It should give me something. Oh, I need to click again. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I'm not clicking the right thing. Self earnings, poverty, official poverty measure. And so now it's asking for geographies, all geographies. We'll say census. No, we'll say county. It's county level. Select county, all counties. Now it should pop up something over here pretty quickly, I think. Nope, it's asking me for state again. I already told it state, but whatever. Like I said, it's real clunky, so you have to play with it some. But whenever it finally pops up, what will happen is over in this side, you'll actually see some data that pops up. Oh, counties. Hopefully they're not having issues with it, because by now usually they have a few data sets that pop over here. If you click it, you'll see them and you can download them. But I want you to play with that yourself. It's that way you get used to navigating. It's that type of survival thing. If you're going to assess what's out there, you need to go out there and look. And as you're looking and grabbing things, you'll learn a whole lot more than if I just tell you. So have fun with it. Don't worry about it. If you want to work together, great. Stop sharing. I think you guys see that, but you just see me. So if you can work together, great. If you can't, just play with it. We'll work on it as we go. It's a process. So like if you're learning martial arts, the first thing you learn is not how to throw a punch. It's not how to move. It's how to stand, how to breathe. Then it's how to walk, because everybody does it wrong. And then from there, it's like, okay, the next thing's gonna be, here's what happens when you get hit. Here's how to block and here's how to roll, because you might get thrown too. Or if you hit hard enough, you're gonna go flying back. That kind of a thing. Put the census info on the same sheet as the initial data. That's a good question. You're gonna have a lot of questions. Play with it. See what you can do. If you can get them into the same sheet, yes. If you can't, then you can make a secondary sheet where it's like you have sheet 1 and sheet 2, that kind of thing. Because no matter what, I'm going to show you different ways to join those things up. So that way you can get it to where you need it. So there's a whole bunch of different processes. And I'll start showing you what that looks like. Because basically what you move into is it's that same deductive logic that you're using here. You use through that whole methodological process when you're on that computer. It doesn't really matter. So long as you're following that process and you literally just take it step by step. If you have theory as a guide, great. But realize crime analysis is an entire field we have is sometimes seen as atheoretical. So it's like to some degree, you just run with logic and reasoning. That's what built the theories in the first place. So let's take a look and see what's going on. Wanting data for each individual county in the assignment? Yes. Yeah. Every county in the state. Why? Those people who are missing, they're missing across all counties. Not every single county, but some will be missing in some counties and some counties won't be missing anybody. We want to know that too. Cool. All right. Have fun. I'll catch you later. If you have questions, you can email me. I've been horrible about emails because life's been crazy. And so if you can wait until class, we'll talk about it there, because you'll have that time with me, I know, for certain. Any other times, like, I got no idea what's going on most of the time. That's life. And so we'll work on that in class at minimum, hopefully a whole lot more. And then as we go, there's plenty of class time to get through this, at least the initial sets that you need to learn it, will be well above what most people can do. You know, we'll have fun. Yeah, talk to you later. Take it easy.